We're getting right into the rack room today for this deep dive. We're looking at the Kramer UHDA-OUT2-F16.
Sounds a bit like a license plate, honestly.
Right. But if you are managing a high-end facility, think, corporate HQs or maybe university lecture halls, this 2-channel HDMI output card is likely the piece of hardware keeping your signal flow from becoming a total nightmare.
It's a massive workhorse. And we're pulling this apart today based on the technical specs for the VS1616 series modular matrix switchers. That context is really key here because, well, this isn't a standalone box.
Yeah, it's a modular blade.
Exactly. It slides right in.
That modularity is really the first big takeaway. You aren't just buying a fixed matrix anymore, you're building a chassis. This card is basically the Lego piece that decides exactly how that video leaves the building.
And how far it leaves the building, too. The spec sheet highlights 4K resolution at 60 hertz.
Yeah.
But the devil is definitely in the details there, specifically the chroma subsamplings, 4.2.0.
Which is a very calculated trade-off.
Oh, for sure. You're sacrificing a little bit of color data compression to really maximize your distance without needing a booster.
Because it all comes down to pipe size, right? I mean, the card pushes a max data rate of 8.91 gigabits per second, or roughly 2.97 per graphics channel.
Yeah, if they tried to push full 4.4.4 color at 60 hertz, they'd hit a bandwidth wall way sooner. By sticking to 4.2.0, this card can drive a 4K signal up to 10 meters, so about 32 feet, or a 1080p signal up to 15 meters.
That is significant. In a typical rack room or a ceiling run, 10 meters is very often the difference between a clean, direct cable run and having to install a repeater, which is just another potential point of failure.
Exactly, and that is just the video path. The real aha moment in the documentation is how it handles the audio. Usually in these matrix setups, video and audio are just married. You switch the video, the audio follows.
But in the real world, you rarely actually want that kind of complicity. You want the video on the projector, but maybe the audio needs to go to a completely separate DSP or amplifier.
This is exactly where the UHDA-OUT2-F16 really earns its keep. It has simultaneous analog audio output. You can use the 3.5mm mini jacks to just de-embed the audio. It strips the sound out of the HDMI stream and sends it to your sound system.
While the video just keeps traveling to the display.
Right. It splits the work seamlessly.
And it works the other way, too. You can actually embed audio. So if you have a separate microphone feed or background music, you can inject that analog signal right into the HDMI stream at the output stage.
It completely eliminates the need for those little external audio inserter boxes that just clutter up the rack. It's much cleaner. And for the home theater installers listening, it does support all the heavy codecs. We're talking Dolby True HD, Dolby Digital Plus, DTS HD, and the 7.1 multi-channel audio.
Though we should definitely raise a quick technical flag here. The spec sheet mentions ARC, the audio return channel.
Yes, but you have to be careful there. Selectable ARC is specifically available on the upper port of the 2-port card.
Yeah, so if you plug your smart TV into the bottom port,
you aren't getting that audio return.
Right, that's a classic troubleshooting trap. Speaking of traps, let's talk about the brain features, handshakes. The #1 reason a screen just goes black is a failed HDCP handshake or bad EDD data.
Totally. And this card uses ED capture. So instead of just passing the signal through and hoping the source and display figure it out, the card copies and actually stores the ED from the display device.
So it essentially memorizes what the TV can do, and the card effectively mimics the TV.
It acts as a proxy. It ensures the source sees a constant valid connection, even if the actual display is turned off or switching inputs. Plus, it's fully HDCP 1.4 and HDMI 1.4 compliant, so you don't get digital rights management just randomly killing your signal.
It really is all about control when you step back and look at it. You control the signal path, the audio routing, the digital handshake, all from this one slide-in card.
It absolutely turns a passive connection into an active management tool.
Which brings us to a final thought to chew on before we wrap up. We spend so much time hyping up wireless casting and IP-based video these days. But when you look at the sheer engineering inside a modular card like this, specifically built to push raw, uncompressed data over copper with zero latency, it really makes you wonder.
Yeah, does the reliability of hardwired gear prove that physical copper is still the king of quality?
In a mission-critical environment, I think the answer might definitely still be yes. Something for you to think about next time you're speccing a room. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Catch you on the next one.